Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to another video on the channel today, guys, and time for another update on Benedito's vote of no confidence motion. Yesterday I came to you with an update, and I did say that today he will be holding a press conference where he would officially announce how many signatures he has registered to date. That press conference took place this morning. We found out a lot about Benedito and his plans for the rest of the motion, and we did find out that he is now on 7,278 signatures in total. That would leave 9,292 signatures to go to achieve the 16,570 signatures that he needs in total from Sochis. Tomorrow will mark 1 week since he started the motion, so he's only been gathering these signatures right now for 6 days. That's a decent tally. I think himself, he expected it to be slightly higher, but I wouldn't say that's a massive disappointment. I think 7,200 expects a decent return. It's going to be difficult. Nobody ever said this is going to be easy. Nobody ever expected it to be a walk in the park for Benedito. But what he's done so far is as well as he can do. The results have been very good, which hasn't really helped him, but he's still managed to gather support, and he genuinely believes that he's still got the support out there to make this happen. He is still very, very confident, and I'm going to be reading out some quotes from his press conference today, telling you guys what he's been saying, in which he still conveys that he's very confident, he believes this will succeed. There's still debate about the end date of this motion. The club believe that Benedito has until the 27th of September, whereas Benedito himself believes that he has until the 2nd of October, which would leave 2 remaining home games, one against Eibar and then one right at the start of October against Las Palmas. And Benedito is absolutely adamant that he believes the 2nd of October is the time that he has. I'll read out some quotes from the press conference. He said that Bartomeu and the board are very worried. They're noticing the unhappiness of the fans and socios and the signatures in this vote of censure. He said the problem is there are very few socios attending matches nowadays. He believes there was only 20,000 who actually attended the game against Juve on Tuesday night. And Benedito then went on to say that he believes that he has the backing of 17,000 to 18,000 socios in total. He believes that he has the support out there. All he needs to do is get those signatures down on paper. And that's why he's so confident, because he genuinely believes that the support for him is out there. It's just finding it in the time permitted. And he is very much intent on getting that deadline at the 2nd of October. He said that if they don't extend beyond the 27th of September, he doesn't know what he'll do, because he believes he has the votes, but he needs the time to get them. He said the final day of submission is a conflict among socios. If they want him to resign, they have to accept that it's the 2nd of October only. Barca are changing the criteria. The board is scared. Until yesterday we had extra days. Today it's been reduced. He said the good performances results do not mean anything. Fans and socios understand that the board is incompetent. The players, though, aren't. That's a very good point indeed. Just because the team is doing well, just because the team currently is playing very, very well, it doesn't mean that everything before it is forgotten. The board has still done some very, very bad things. Whether the performances on the pitch show that right now is not underlying everything they've done. The most important thing, of course, is the players. The players have the quality. We've never doubted that for a minute. But just because they're doing well on the pitch, we must remember the bigger picture, and that definitely involves getting the current board out of power. Benedito went on. He said, for me, ideally, we submit the required vote count on the 2nd of October, and then Bartomeu resigns before the 1st of November. That's what he ideally wants to happen. That's what I've always said. Getting past that first stage is by far the most important one. Get past that, keep putting the pressure on, and then you hope that Bartomeu really feels that and then steps down from his position. He said that if the board sets 27th of September as the day of submission, Benedito could actually consider going to their own against Barca game, which is away from home. But like I mentioned yesterday, it is a more local away game. They might actually go to that game to try to collect signatures from away fans if the deadline is set at the 27th instead of the 2nd of October. So Benedito does have a plan. If his time is cut by the board, he is going to go to the Girona game to try to gather signatures from the away game, which would then once again mean that he has then Eibar at home and Girona away to gather those vital signatures. Benedito said, I'll follow whatever the socios decide. If they want Bartomeu to stay, there's nothing more that I can possibly do. It's not an election or a campaign for presidency. It's a vote amongst the socios. So whatever the outcome, I will accept it. And this was quite an interesting insight into the plans that Benedito has for the rest of the motion. He said, until now, we have focused mostly on the 4 tents on match days at the Camp Nou. They've had 4 different booths set up around the Camp Nou to gather signatures on match days and on days away from games as well. He said, now we will also go around Barcelona in the city to collect the votes. This afternoon we have 25 points around Tarragona. Thursday we will have 15 points to collect signatures. This Friday he believes that he will have 50 different points around Tarragona and Barcelona, and he is now confident of getting more signatures from right across the city. So now Benedito has dealt with the home games, Espanyol and then Juventus. Now he's sort of going around the city, different places in Barcelona, to try to gather signatures from different parts, from different socios. That's really, really important. He has to make sure that he's spreading his net as far as he possibly can, gathering as much interest as is possible. I also know, and I saw on social media earlier on today, that he's actually sent a number of ballot papers to European countries. A lot of ballot papers earlier on today were sent to Denmark, to Copenhagen, for socios who were there at the current time and they wanted to vote in Denmark. So if you are a soci, if you are based in Europe, please do let me know, or of course email the Vote to Censura email address. Then you can get the most up-to-date information on how to vote if you're outside of Spain currently. That's the easiest way to do it. There is a way that you can vote, but you'll have to get in contact with them to make sure that you're sending your ballot papers to you so you can get your signature down on paper officially. But I think all in all, Benedito right now is still confident. He still believes, of course, that it's a difficult task. He still understands there's a lot to do. But I think right now, nearly a week into the motion, he's been gathering signatures. He's been working very, very hard. I think it's become clearer and clearer as this has gone on that Benedito really does have a plan. He's not just come into this and sort of made his way as he's gone along. He's clearly had a plan. He wanted to sort of station his booths around the Camp Nou while the Espanyol and Juve games were going on. Now that's done, and now we've got a sort of fixtures of away games. We've got Getafe away this weekend, then the Eibar game next week in the midweek period, then we go away to Girona, and he is now planning now, and of course going to Barcelona, trying to further and get more signatures from wider afield, and then he'll be back next midweek on that Eibar game, trying to gather more signatures. The one thing I would say as well is, although he said there, you know, only 20,000 socios went to the game against Juventus, that's very much believable, because I was very, very surprised with the attendance of the Juventus game. Just 77,000 fans inside the Camp Nou on Tuesday night. I was very surprised at that. I think that should be capacity. You know, it's a huge Champions League game, first Champions League game of the season, under the lights at the Camp Nou, Juventus coming to town, chance to get our revenge. It was a fantastic game, 3 goals, a brilliant win. Why would you not want to go and see that? If you're in Barcelona, why is the stadium not full? You know, there should have been at least another 20,000 fans inside that stadium, which would have once again, you know, really helped Benedito's campaign if some of those socios could have signed the signature after the game. So I was really surprised it wasn't full. I hope that against Eibar we can get a good attendance, but that's midweek. That's not going to be a great in terms of attendance. A pretty low profile game midweek as well. Probably not the best time. It's going to be difficult, but I think then if Benedito learns about the end date being brought forward by the board, he's then going to go to Girona, which is a more local game. You might get some socios going to away games. That could be a decent place to set up camp. But all in all, like Benedito said, at the end of the day, it is unfortunately just in the hands of the socios. I think I wish everybody could vote, and you know, I really do wish that we all had a bit more of a say in this. It's a bit difficult. It's sort of been taken out of our own hands. But I think the main aim from this is Benedito's going to do all he can. We've got to do all we can in terms of spreading the word, continuing to sort of spread the message, keep our values very much high on the priority list. Even when the team are doing well, it's still important, like I said earlier on, see that bigger picture, still understand this is something that needs to go through. And I think we've got to keep doing that now for the majority of the time, because I see a lot of people on sort of Twitter and social media sort of saying, you know, this is not going to happen, we should just give up now. There's no point in doing that. You know, Benedito's got until the end of the month probably to gather these signatures. We just as well keep going now for the entire month. We just got to give it our all, see what comes out of it, and at the end of that month, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But you can say at the end of that month, if you've done everything you can hold your hands up and say, I tried, I did my best, they didn't want to vote him out, that's not my problem now. Hopefully things can get done, hopefully the socios can see sense, get their signatures down on paper, and hopefully at the end of all this, Benedito can celebrate with his signatures and we can then get on to the next stage of this vote of no confidence. But right now, Benedito, like I said earlier on, 7,278 signatures was the total that he was on this morning. morning. Of course, by now he might have been on a bit more throughout the day. For the rest of the motion, Benedito is estimating that he needs around 400 signatures per day for this to be a success. So from now, from here on forward, hopefully he can get what he needs, we can get this over the line, and the whole thing can be a success at the end of it. Let's do everything we can now until the end of the month. Keep going, don't get down, keep be positive. It's all you can do, it's all we can do sitting here. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Continue to spread the word. It's very, very important indeed that we do that. Tomorrow I'll have a preview for the Getafe game coming up for you guys, as always, a day before the game. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you very, very soon when more updates become available. But until then, as always, Visca el Barça!